Hey everybody, John here again, Old Hickory Forge. I'm out here working on an herb knife, making out of an old file. This is what the finished product is going to look like. This is the blade blank we start with. You got a 2.5 inches marked off to make the blade, and about 3.5 marked off to make the handle, about half the width of the original file itself. If you can, get the thicker ones when you make these, because it gives you more metal to draw into the bevels. It ends up looking a little better. So forge is just about up to heat, so I'll get this guy in the fire. Alright, so first thing we got to do, use a radius edge of the anvil, start bringing this up and tapering it out. So, see what I got going on there? As I bring this up and out, I'm going to get more length and try to keep roughly the same squared thickness to get a pretty looking twist on it. So let's keep going. Just keep working that taper. Dressing up that thickness as you go, working that taper out, make it look pretty. We're getting there. So I've learned with these, the amount of length I need is just a little bit more than the width of the face of my anvil, because I'm going to lose a little bit of length when I put the scroll in, and I'm going to lose a little bit more when I do the twist. And that's looking to be right about where I need it. So let's just dress up that thickness a little more. Make it relatively even. So see what I'm after? We got a pretty smooth taper going. Next heat, all I'm going to do is bring this down really thin to put the scroll in. Just bring that end down nice and thin. Dressing up that thickness on the sides. That should do it. So, a little more heat, we'll put the scroll in that baby. So I'm just going to use a pair of those pliers. If you got scrolling tongs, use them. I just haven't got around to making a pair yet. Now, it doesn't got to be perfect. You can true it up with the hammer. You really just want to get it started. Back for a little more heat. There we go, that's pretty looking. See what I got there? Screw it up real good. Perfect. So, next thing we gotta do is put the twist in for the handle, so I got you pointed at the vise over here. So we'll just stick that scroll in there. Full turn. That ain't bad. See what we got there? So, next thing we gotta do is start bending the handle around, so I got you pointed at the horn of the anvil. So what I'll do is I'll pull this guy out of the fire, and I'll cool off that scroll in my bucket of water to keep forming it. A solid grip. Gently start bringing that guy around. You want to hit pretty gently so you don't destroy your twist. back now. Keep working on bringing this thing into line. Put it up on the flat as I go. Pretty little swoop in the end of this guy, right about there. Bring it back to true. There we go, that looks good. So, that's the final shape of the handle we're going after. Next thing I'm going to do is start hammering in the bevel. Next thing we got to do is hammer in the bevels, so hold it at an angle, strike at an angle, and start thinning out that material. Push it away from you. And what that'll do is taper down to where the cutting edge is going to be, as well as make the blade wider and put that pretty looking natural curve in it that we want. So we'll just keep working at the sides like always. What you're after the most is a uniform edge and thickness. So we're starting to get down to the thickness we're looking for. 1 or 2 more heats and we should have. I want just a little more width, so I need this just a tad thinner. So I'm going to use the edge above the cutting plate and try to pull it towards me some more. That ain't bad. So, last step in making one of these is just to bring everything into line, so I got you pointed back at the vise. So, I can hold this thing. I'll have the handle in with the edge facing up. Look down the center line. It needs to come that way just slightly and up just slightly. Everything's nice and where we want it. Edge is good and centered. So that's the rough forging on one of these things. I'll bring you back for the grinding here in a minute. So, back here in the workshop, about ready to get the grind on this guy. First thing we got to do is knock all these teeth off of here. If you didn't notice, I've left this a little bit thicker than I would when forging a typical knife, because you have to leave enough material to grind out all of the teeth of this file that have been forged down, otherwise you're not going to have a smooth surface. So normally you want to forge about nickel dime thick. Here it's about twice that thick, just to give me enough material. So anyway, we'll get started on it. So that's the rough grind on one of these. I've taken the edge down significantly thinner than I normally would. The reason for that is file steel is very, very hard and very, very tough. And the less grinding I have to do after this is hardened, the better. So basically all I have to do after the heat treat is take this guy up the finish grits, sharpen, and clean up all the scale. I like to go with a brushed finish on these. So that's the rough grind, and we're ready to heat treat this bad boy. Alrighty, so I'm out here about to heat treat this thing, and these are an oil quench steel, so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm also going to do a technique called one-stage tempering. Normally, whenever after you harden your knife or whatever it is you're making, tempering is a whole separate step. You'll either do it by hand with a torch, or you'll stick it in an oven and do it. With something this small, you can get away with what's called one-stage tempering. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to quench the edge, leave the heat in the back of the knife. I'm going to take this here grinding wheel. I'm going to clean the the scale off the end so I can see true metal, and then I'm going to watch the temper colors run, and what I'm looking for is kind of a dull bronze on the edge. So we're just about up to critical, so let me grab a hold of this guy. Into the oil. I'll just hold it there for a good minute. Color bleed out of the rest of it. Turn that off. So we can see true metal. There we go. See what I did there? Now we'll just watch the colors run. We got bronze up here, slowly creeping towards the edge. Got it. You really got to be on your toes, because if you're too slow, you'll soften this to the point where it isn't really good anymore. Do that one more time, same thing. The color bleed in. Takes a little longer this time, down the back's a little cooler. There we go, got it. So, I don't know if you can see or not, but we got light straw here on the edge. We got bronze here in the body, and we got blue and black up here on the spine. So the back's nice and soft, it's resilient, but the edge is good and hard. Let's file test it. Yeah, that's glass hard, perfect. So yeah, that's the one-stage tempering. Wouldn't necessarily recommend it if you're just starting out. It's a technique that can take a little bit of practice to get good at. But if you can do it, it saves you a lot of time. So anyway, I'll bring you back when this guy's done. So here it is all done. Ran a wire brush over the file parts, got it nice and smooth. Took it up to 600 grit on the grinder, I believe. Polished it up, got an edge onto it. Obviously, this isn't a real cutting board, and these aren't herbs. This is a scrap piece of wood and some weeds I pulled up out of the yard, but this is kind of just a proof of concept. Give you an idea of what it's used for. So, obviously works. It's good and sharp. So, yeah. If you like what you saw, like and subscribe to the channel. I put out new content every now and then, and there's going to be lots more cool projects coming up. Thanks for watching.